40 years ago, I came from the other side of the world and sitting right here at Illinois Institute of Technology to study gas engineering. Then they told me that it is not just gas engineering, it is energy. Then I said, I learn energy. And they said the energy, there's a different kind. There's a renewable energy, the one which is bad for the society, one good. So I learned all those things. Then I was introduced to environmental issues. And then they talk about sustainability. Then we start thinking, okay, the energy related to the water, water related to the food, that the whole well-being of human beings. The person you will see on the screen, Professor Henry Linden, was my mentor. He was the one who really put me into that route. Although philosophically I disagree with him, and we always fight, everything starts from a class when he brought a couple of Harvard professors in economics teaching me, and a graduate students just coming off the boat. I criticized them. I challenged them. Later on, the professor called me, and I was thinking, that's it, I'm done. I have to go back. But he said, no, I like it. It doesn't mean that I agree with you, and he never agreed with me 100% until for the last 30 years that he was around. But he said, I like because you have a guts. You stand up in front of the two top professors in economics from Harvard and say, you guys, you don't know what you're talking about. I said, that you're going to be successful. And then later on, I came up and learned all those things. I'm going to share some of those And the other picture, you will see Bob Wanger. He's the one that in 2013 realized our potential and gradually start putting some money in order we established the institute which right now the vision of that institute is to improve the quality of the life of people through energy, water, food, and try to really minimize consumption of the resources, because we cannot use all the resources, nothing for next generation. So we established this. If you want to know something more about those who are not from IIT, you can always come to IIT and learn more about this at this institute. What is energy and water? If you look at it, it really hits you everywhere. Economy, health, sustainability, and security. Sustainability means that we're going to preserve all those things for the next generation. The health issues, the water is one of the most important things in the life. It's much more important than energy. It all depends. We need energy to get water. We need water to produce energy, and so on. So it's really hit every single individual in the world. And then if you look at the energy, all the predictions, I talk a lot about renewable energy, but right now all the prediction is we're still going to use carbon. We're still going to use petroleum, coal, natural gas, and gradually substitute natural gas for some of them, and renewable energy. It is not a silver bullet. We cannot convert to renewable energy. We don't have the capability. We don't have all the technology we needed. We do not have infrastructure. We don't have infrastructure to convert. It takes years, not 5 years, not 6 years, 50 years to get to that point. And we have to go to transition. All the predictions is like that. If you look at this picture, it's very interesting. The bright side shows that consumption of energy in the world, and the dark, less and less. Imagine the population of the world. They're not living in this country. They're living in China, India, some part of the world. And it is rather dark. Those people, they have every right to live like we live. And a standard of living and well-being is proportional to the energy consumption. If they use that much energy, first of all, we don't have energy. Secondly, before we get to that point, we produce so much carbon, which a lot of people will die because of the shortage of water and so on. So we have to do something different. If the people in China and India wants to do the same thing that we do and European did, we're going to be in big trouble. So we have to be much, much, much more smarter than before. If you look at the water, same way. A lot of water used for agriculture, but the industry and the energy use some water too. Agriculture is food. It's so critical. The water becomes much more critical than energy in the next few years. It's coming very soon. And it's not just uniform and average. Some places in the world already have a pressure. Western part of the United States will get it sooner. Look at the consumption. The big truck is what we consume per capita. The middle one is the average. And the little one which Africa use. If African wants to have the same standard of living, come up with that one, or the Asian use that one, that much water. We don't have that much water. We don't have that much energy to purify water. So we have to think about it. What is overall trend? Overall trend is not that population decreasing, no. Population will increase. We will have less and less water available. We will have less energy. And the climate change, remember, climate change is the most critical issue that human beings are facing in their lives. From the start of the earth to today. It's the it's the real. Some people talk it's not real. It is real. It has scientific basis behind that, and it is something which threatens every single individual in this planet. If you close your eyes and open your eyes, say, okay, what the world I'm going to live in? I'm going to live in a world that I can drive with a car with no emission, a factory, zero emission, an environment like this, sustainable built environment with the material that can be recycled, water, food, and energy available for everybody, and security. So that's the desire. That's when you close your eyes and say, I want to live in that world. The way we are going, we never reach to that world. And the problem is climate change. Although the amount of CO2 is very little, but imagine we take all those carbon from underground, coal, natural gas, or the oil, and bring it here and release it in terms of gas. It goes up there and change the composition. So when the sunlight comes, the amount of sun that's supposed to reflect will change. The amount of sun supposed to absorb will change. The whole thing will change, locally and on an average basis. There's going to be disaster. There's going to be the problem on availability of water. There's going to be a storm in one place, not in the other place. There's going to be too much rain somewhere, drought somewhere else. And it affects every single individual. Picture really shows a lot of words. So you're saying, so what? Let's all this ice melt, especially last winter. No, we like the warmer weather. We like, but if this water melts, so what water melts? Okay, the ocean's level will come up. So what? Ocean level will come up. Well, fine. If we don't have a New Orleans built there, if we didn't have San Francisco built there, if we didn't have all these harbors, that's fine. That's fine. The nature will take care of it. But we did that. And then you were asking, okay, let's these cities go. What will happen? Well, if you look at the people in this Asia, southern part of Asia, part of the India and China, the water is caught from Himalaya. And that water is melted through the melt of the ice or something. If all these things melt, and there's not enough ice to melt, so many people in the world, you saw from that picture that most of the water used for agriculture would not have food. It's going to be a disaster. The California becomes like Nevada. It's going to be desert. So it's very important that we put a lot of attention to this. So what's the solution? Solution is, we got to be smart. We got to be smart, and you guys are smart. You guys are the one who should be. If you are not order of magnitude smarter than me, we are in trouble. Especially younger people. You have no other choice to be smart and use electricity a smart way. Not come at 4 o'clock in the afternoon and turn on all of your dishwashers and machines and lights and everything. And we had to produce that much electricity. We have to come up with a small plug. So when you plug in to the electricity, it will wash your dishes. But as soon as you say, okay, I want dishes to be washed by 6 o'clock in the morning, they will search to find out the best time. So we have to do smart. We have to, and one of the things will change recently, I thought that I should talk about that, is natural gas. Natural gas will save this country and a lot of countries in the world as far as the production of the carbon. because natural gas has 4 hydrogen, 1 carbon, and if we substitute that with coal, which has a big number of carbon, therefore, we are producing order of magnitude less. Why we are doing that? Why we didn't do a few years ago? Because of one technology. Now we know. We used to drill vertical. Now we know how to drill horizontally. This picture will show you. And fractured. When horizontally, we can fracture and produce a lot of. So that's, you will probably hear it a lot. Again, like everything else, there are problems associated with that too. Fracturing. This fracturing, when we put the water there to fracture and bring it back water, this water brings a lot of stuff from underground, which is very undesirable. So the water issue, the amount of water we need and water purification becomes an issue. Another resources, which 1% of that is enough for 100 years of the natural gas consumption in this country, is called hydrate. The molecules of methane underneath ocean is going to capture by the molecules of water and solidify, become piece of ice. If I had hydrate here, I could have put the light on hydrate and it will burn, as you see in the picture. Technology is not there. We don't know how to deal with thermodynamics, economics, and those things, but that is the future of moving away from coal. But natural gas, coal, oil, everything is limited. They're going to go away. The only thing which is left is sun, wind, probably geothermal. So these are some examples that I show that using the wind energy in the tall building. So if instead of we put building all parallel to each other, put an angle, we can induce wind and generate part of electricity, part of the energy in the building itself. We are one of the leading institution, IIT, in development of this technology and these ideas. You heard a lot about biofuel. Biofuel is good, is bad? I don't know, people get confused. If we start growing corn and create fuel instead of feeding the cows or trying to use as a food, then we are competing with food. Few years ago, the government made a mistake and put a regulation on few percent of ethanol should be in the gasoline. That was the biggest mistake, because at the end, we couldn't accomplish anything. The only thing we accomplished, we increased the price of the dairy product, the price of the food. And there are challenges. If food demands significant amount of energy. For example, the difference between having the steak and a plate of vegetable, as far as the water is concerned, is huge. You have to have 1,000 times more water to come up with meat. And as the societies increase and diet will change, they consume a lot of meat. And it costs, and we need so much water. If all the people in the world use as much steak as people in Texas or in Illinois, we are in big trouble. So you're never taught that way. So standard of living change, we need more water. Water, we need more energy. How about we create this energy from fossil fuel? We're going to create more CO2. CO2 will go up there and melt the glacier. And when it melts that one, we have problem, different part of the world. All these things are connected. Is it easy? No. If it was easy, I would have solved it. I wouldn't left you to you people, young people, for the next generation. And therefore, one biggest recommendation is that there should be when you look at the problem, we should go back and look at, okay, I'm going to solve the energy problem, but there is water, there is food, there is well-being of human beings, there is a sustainability. People, they want to live in this planet after I die. So if you look at all those things, the whole thing will be different. I didn't show you any really solution. I said there is a situation right now, and there is a situation to the renewable. And the bridge right now is natural gas. But we have to do a lot of work. Is there a solution, silver bullet? No. Anybody offer you a solution for this huge social economical problem? That person doesn't know what he or she is talking about. this solution to this problem is a function of time, technology, lifestyle, and location. What is good for California is not good for Illinois. What is good for China is not going to be good for England. And also, lifestyle. We have to change the way we live. We have to change the way we do things. We have to change the way we throw away everything out. We have to look at the sustainable life. We have to look at the material recycling. So lifestyle should be changed. And the effective solution, although it's a global problem, but solution is local. Locally we have to see. And we have to look at a very comprehensive energy plan. Everything is interlinked. You should sit back and start thinking much globally. It needs a lot of creative minds. We need a lot of creative minds like you young people. Just move and go and try to learn something. Get excited. Learn from these leaders and try to solve the problem. The problem cannot be solved if you're in box. The problem can be solved when you're out of box. You have to think creatively. You have to think out of box. The thing that you feel is impossible is the solution to the biggest problem that we have in this planet. We need your mind, your intellectual mind, your creativity, and thinking out of the box. And you are the one who should solve the problem. The road is paved, but we need that kind of excitement, that kinds of commitments, and that kind of creative minding. What's the solution to the energy problem? You guys and the next young generation. Thank you.